Say hello in the chat. Oh, and we're live. It's Startup TNT Week 92, and we're here with the Alberta Cleantech Investment Summit. We've got 10 entrepreneurs presenting tonight. They're part of a cohort of 20 people participating in the inaugural Alberta Cleantech Investment Summit. It's pitch night 2. We're all here to have a good time, which is why I've opened up a great can of beer. I hope you've got one as well. And I'm really excited to be co-hosting tonight with none other than Stephen Wilson. Stephen, you want to say hello? What's going on, Stephen?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm really honored that you've selected me. I think of your co-hosts, I represent this little group over here, Foresight, and I was practicing my best weatherman impersonation there all day to get it right.
Well done, well done. Okay, so listen, I'm going to do a quick rundown on what's going to happen tonight. We've got 10 pitches. Each pitch is 3 minutes. There's going to be 3 minutes of questions. Everyone can welcome and say hello to the audience, to each other, to the presenters in the chat. We encourage you to send direct messages. We encourage you to connect, share each other on, make some noise in the chat, if you will. The investors will be asking questions. We'll be peppering the presenters with questions during the 3 minutes of question period. But before we do any of that, I just want to give a quick overview of how this is going to work. We've got 20 companies out of a cohort of 38 that applied. We've got 28 investors. Each investor has pre-committed $5,000 to invest in at least one company from the group. And so we got 28. That's $140,000 going into at least one of the companies in the top 20. That's really awesome. But we're all here at Startup TNT. Our philosophy is have fun, make friends, build companies. This is the best way we can do it. And I'm really happy that we're doing it with all of these partners in the clean tech space to do the very first Alberta Clean Technology Investment Summit. Jason Switzer is here to say hello. Jason reached out to me a year ago. He said, Zach, can we do something like this in clean tech? I said, Jason, I have a PhD in chemical engineering. There's nothing I want more than to invest in clean tech entrepreneurs. How are we going to make this happen? So Jason, say hello. Give us a little background on how this came about.
How did this come about? I blame you entirely, Zach, for coming up with what I think is probably the funnest thing that you can do, other than watch Marvel movies again. No, I'm curious. The truth is, I think Zach's built a great model, him and his team, around Startup TNT, and this being our first Clean Tech Investment Summit, we're delighted to see the attention, the interest, the enthusiasm, as well as frankly, the great ventures. So thank you all for having the courage to participate in this process. Thanks as well to our investors who we've peppered with a ton of meetings, including what I thought was an outstanding venture capital investment masterclass this morning with two of the top clean tech investors in Canada. We've got another one coming up next Thursday. But I'm just going to sit back, enjoy this show, say thank you to our supporters, Energy Futures Lab, who I think is with us, as well as Western Economic Diversification Canada, Enernext, and Zach, you'll have to remind me because I can't look over my shoulder at the same time. Deal Point
and Deal Closer. Deal Point and Deal Closer both helping us with the paperwork to administer these deals. Really happy to have them helping us. Deal Closer, great local company, just raised $1.7 million. And Deal Point is founded by Sandy Gilbert, who was previously the chair of the board of directors at NACO. So great local entrepreneurs supporting us here today. Okay, before I pass it back to Stephen to say hello, is Matt Mayer here. Matt, do you want to say a quick word? We might have to unmute you. We might have to give you co-hosting rights to unmute yourself, Matt Mayer.
Let's see. Can you hear me okay, Zach?
You're here. Here you are. Let's say hello.
Okay, perfect. I have the unmuting power. Thanks for giving me a sec to just say my thanks and excitement on behalf of the Energy Futures Lab team. It's a project of the Natural Step Canada, and also really is a function of a whole group of folks we call Energy Futures Lab fellows who are trying to work together to create the energy system that the future requires of us. And really excited to be joined by one of those fellows today. Jason Cardiff from Clean02 is going to do a pitch. So hello, Jason. There's other people like Jason as part of this network. So really, really grateful to be part of this. We really see a huge opportunity for events like this and having tying a knot between the or tying a bow, I should say, between access to capital and social innovation. It's such a critical part of us being able to move forward. So delighted to be a part of it. Thanks, Jason, Zach, and all the other partners. And good luck to all the folks tonight at pitching.
Okay, that's awesome. I see. Thank you so much, Matt. It's great to have you guys partnering with us. I actually just saw one of our investors posted a little note in the chat there, Mike Melross from the Climate Innovation Fund. It's really, really cool that this event brought people like that into the fold. You know, we've got all these different people supporting clean tech, working together, making a great investment. So there's lots of really cool investors here. In fact, I wish I could share the unbeeped version of what one of the investors had to say about this process, but I'll just give you the PG version. He said, "Holy cow, this is freaking amazing. I love everything about this." So he used a few different words in there, a little more colorful, but that's the type of spirit we love to see. That's the type of excitement we love to see about the community. So before we get to the pitches, I do just want to give it back to Stephen Wilson. Tell us, Stephen, about what you do and your great organization, Foresight.
Thanks, Zach. What does Foresight do? If you don't know, Foresight is Canada's clean tech ecosystem builders. We've been around for 7 years. I'm not going to try and pretend or lie to you. I'm actually sitting in Vancouver right now, but my heart is on the other side of the Rockies. It's definitely in Alberta. It's been a little over a year since we partnered with Platform Calgary to run our first cohort of companies in Alberta. I see some fantastic Alberta companies that we have worked with that has been my pleasure to help. There's some people that I hope to get to know better through our acceleration arm. But we say we're ecosystem builders because while it all starts with great technology and fantastic ideas and the passionate innovators, we realize it takes more than that. We need to bring the ecosystem together. We need to pair those wonderful innovators with investors. We need to pair them with the government support and regulatory support for what they're doing. We need to bring in the academic support to allow them to test and develop and use the lab equipment. And we need to bring in industry partners to pilot and really accept these innovative technologies and move everything forward. At Foresight, we really believe that we need to move more quickly to develop the technologies to solve the sustainability challenges we face and to make clean tech an economic driver for the Canadian economy. And so that's what we're trying to do. That's what gets us out of bed every day. Like I say, we're really excited to start our partnership with Platform a little over a year ago. In the fall, we started our partnership with Tech Edmonton. We've now got a partnership in place with Northforge to bring in Manitoba companies. And I think bridging across Canada and opening those opportunities has already started to pay dividends for some of our companies in the clean tech ecosystem. And we hope to continue that good work. Zach, does that summarize a little bit?
I learned a lot from that. Stephen, and that's amazing. I just got to say, between Foresight, Acti, and EFL, you guys helped us recruit most of the companies that applied. So that is freaking amazing. And I think it's time to get on with the pitches, Stephen. My only statement is, as we let the first presenter get set up, I encourage everyone to find someone in the chat that they don't know and send them a message. I'm going to send mine right now. Stephen, I'll let you introduce the next speaker.
Excellent. I think our first presentation tonight is going to be Aqua Pure Technologies. We have Dan Nelson. Now, I'll be honest, it's only been a little while that I knew the difference between microfiltration, nanofiltration, and ultrafiltration. But I will let Dan go into that a little bit more as he introduces the ultrafiltration company from Grand Prairie, Alberta.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me fine?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just and you can see my screen here.
You're good to go.
We're good to go. Okay. Well, thank you for allowing me to present today. My name is Daniel Nelson. I'm the president of Aqua Pure, and I'll just get into it. So Aqua Pure is an Alberta-based water solutions company that is centered around our patented Pro H2O technology. The system was originally designed to clean produced and flow back fluid with high volumes with little to no downtime. Its small footprint, low energy, mobile design makes it ideal for use in the oil and gas industry. Since our inception in 2015, we have been conducting many R&D projects and trials, perfecting the process and efficiency of the system. And now we're at full commercialization stage with several projects pending and completed both domestically and internationally. Sorry, okay, so here's some examples of some of the projects we've done. This is obviously a flowback completions project that we did. You can see I can't dwell too long on these because I'm short of time, but this one here is the produced water before and after, flowback going up before and after. We did a mining project down in the Arizona border with Mexico for Arizona mining. This is the results. It was cleaning the fluid off the cutting room floor, the core cutting. They ordered a system, and that is pending. This is a drilling brine system that we did. I apologize again. This is for drilling brine that we did south of Grand Prairie. We used a solids processing system in front of ours. We took it from this to, of course, that. Yes, and so this is a process diagram of one of our standard mobile systems. Each one of these is what we refer to as a loop. This is a 3-loop system. This system can process in excess of 2,500 cubes a day. This is the same frac site, effluent here, treated fluid there, and you can see the comparison obviously in that picture. This is the same frac site. I wanted to show this to show you the example of our small footprint. On this particular site, we had 2 systems. We were treating again 2,500 cubes of flowback and produced. And these are smaller systems internally, so we needed 2 of them. But this is at A and B, that's us. The rest is the frac site. You can see here where our clean water is going into the C ring to feed the frac. You can see the comparison to what they had for fresh in there. So I apologize. I missed a step here. What is Pro H2O? Okay, so Pro H2O is a patented chemical-free ceramic ultrafiltration system that can be clean fluid down to 0.02 micron, removing 99% of all suspended solids, fats, oils, bacteria, and hydrocarbon, leaving only suspended material to be removed with post-treatment. And we manufacture these systems that can treat up to 3,000 cubes a day. The mobile systems can anyway, and they can be put in succession to achieve any volume requirements. The technology is also scalable in a fixed facility to any size.
Hey, Dan, we're just over 3 minutes, just so you know.
Okay, just quickly, we're headquartered in Grand Prairie, Calgary, sales. We have partners around the world, including Saudi Arabia and Aramco, UAE, Oman. This is our group, and yeah, we have projects pending around the world, including Tata Steel and Aramco, and domestically we have several partners, including Kicking Horse and Velvet Energy.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about those sales. So how are this? You're already in sales. You've got working products out there. Tell us a little bit about the sales cycle and what the sales look like for 2021.
Well, every project is different. So, in the case of Tata Steel, we're looking at municipal systems for them, and we're still in talks getting all the information we need to develop. With Aramco, we're still in the talks of getting over there and doing trialing for them because they require that. Domestically, we're looking at building water hubs. We have a water hub facility that we've designed for Kicking Horse and Velvet Energy, and we have several other producers that are interested in it as well, because our system can treat any fluid. It's obviously a filter. It's a physical, mechanical process, so it does not matter what you put in one end. You get the same result every time out the end.
Okay, actually, there's a technical question about what your capabilities are. So, does your Pro H2O system, does it handle liquids containing high sulfur content for produced water drilling? This has been addressed with producers.
High sulfur?
Has this been addressed? Yeah. High sulfur content. Yeah.
High sulfur. Okay, so I have a technical director that can answer any questions for any investors that are interested. He's a chemical and process engineer. We can definitely handle sulfur. We can handle up to 300,000 parts per million of salt or chlorides. And yes, I can.
Okay, we're almost out of time, so I'll just end it with one last question, which is how are you going to use the funds that you're raising now?
So at the moment, I'm looking to build out four loop systems. We have serious interest down in the Permian Basin down in Texas, and then obviously domestically here. I need to send 2 systems internationally for trialing and beginning systems. So yes, I need 4 systems immediately, and then operations for the next 3 years, and R&D obviously, which we're doing all the time on the municipal side.
Okay, Dan, I think we're gonna have to end it there. Great start for us. Thanks so much. We're right at 6 minutes.
Thank you.
Great to see the progress and the traction you get with this technology. So I know the investors are gonna be excited to follow up with you on this. Just so you know, if you want to follow up casually, there is a happy hour just following after this. Meanwhile, Stephen, I'm going to take a sip of beer. You tell us who our next speaker is.
All right. Thank you very much, Zach. Up next is Amardeep Sibia from Drishya. So I first met Amardeep about a year ago, a little over a year ago. Since then, they've had fantastic results. They've raised funds. They've got pilots underway. He's just a wonderful team that makes really quick progress, doing all the right things. We're interested and excited to see the progress he's made. I'm going to learn a little bit more, and I'll turn it over to Amardeep so he can give his presentation.
Well, good evening. I'm Amardeep, founder of Drishya AI, and I'm broadcasting live from the other side of the earth, from Bangalore. So it's very, very early morning for me, so I won't be drinking any beer. So anyways, on that note, Drishya means vision in Sanskrit, and we are a clean tech AI company. And AI can directly help reduce 10 to 20% of GHGs by monitoring, predicting, and reducing emissions. And that is where we focus. We are building native AI solutions for clean energy, VoltOS, an operating system for smart microgrids. Brains adds intelligence to our industrial data, and Artisan, our engineering digitalization solution. Let's look at some areas, problem areas. Ops managers are inundated with massive amounts of industrial data. They struggle to improve plant energy efficiency, and engineers spend hundreds of hours manually reviewing engineering drawings. This is tedious and costly. These combined result in billions of dollars of missed opportunities. At Drishya, we are training AI to read drawings like piping and instrument diagrams, learn plant behavior from historian data. We are making AI understand how things are connected, how they operate, and create a digital twin of the plant. As AI builds digital twins, it learns relationships between components. It essentially learns the way engineers think and design, so it can enable autonomous, efficient operations. This digital twin technology powers Artisan, Drishya's engineering digitalization solution. Complicated tasks like fugitive emission studies, which can take 50 to 60 hours, can be done accurately and consistently in minutes, leading to 80 to 90% savings in time and money. By integrating live data and predictions, we make these diagrams come alive. Our GTM partner network gives us the unique competitive advantage of easier market penetration, connections to experts, and access to massive amounts of industrial data. And our SaaS-based approach makes us fast, cost-effective, and easy to adopt. The global market for clean tech AI is more than $8 billion. It is growing at 22% CAGR. EPCs and oil and gas producers in Calgary are our initial $65 million market. In 5 years, Drishya will hit 50 mil in global revenues, acquire over 400 clients with an average ARR of 125K. Today, we are exactly 1 year old. We are in trials with 6 EPCs and 2 SAGD operators. And Microsoft and Amazon have given us nearly $250,000 of free cloud. We are currently providing intelligence for 16K barrels a day. And by the summer, we will hit 100K. Over this year, we will expand to US and Mideast and pilot and patent VoltOS, our smart microgrid operating system. The Drishya team brings over 200 years of expertise. We bridge the engineering excellence of Calgary with the fast, frugal software ecosystem of Bangalore. This is the second venture I'm building. The previous venture won an award from Bill Gates for deploying satellites for agriculture. We are raising $1.5 million for our seed round. This will enable product and business development, and we welcome pilot customers. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to providing more details about Drishya. Have a good evening.
Okay, thanks so much. Couple questions coming in here. I'll start us off. Tell us a little bit more about the team. That's like a massive team. You're on two sides of the world. Tell us a little bit more about the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So my team spans, the leadership team comes from Goldman Sachs. My co-founders spent more than 20 years over there. And on the other side, in Calgary, the team brings in expertise as well as the customer success side of the world of the businesses based out of Calgary. Having spent so many years around global operations, it's kind of easy for us to kind of operate across multiple jurisdictions. I actually even have people operating out of Singapore as part of my team.
Okay, thanks, Amardeep. And there's another question about the competitive landscape.
Sure.
What does the competitive landscape look like for this application? And in particular, one company was mentioned called Vyvern. I don't know if you know that particular company.
Yeah, we do know. Yeah. So what we are doing is basically, building a digital model of the brownfield. Okay, so not just how things are operating, but we can actually take in all the diagrams and build and essentially even look under the hood, so to say. So Vyvern, my understanding is, focuses more on the visual side. We are actually pulling in all of that data from the drawings, not only PNIDs, we will be extending it to single line diagrams so that we can actually enable a number of workflows. So currently we are, we enable a workflow called fugitive emission studies, but we are extending that to things like heat traces, things like equipment list workflows, IO list, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, Amardeep, we're just at time. So instead of asking a question, I'm going to read a really nice compliment you just got from the group, which is great presentation, sharp, focused, concise, quantitative, to the point. Well done, Amardeep. So thank you for that, Mike Whitfield, and thank you, Amardeep, for a great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, Zach, would that be time for the next presenter then?
Yeah, Stephen, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's time for the next presenter. Who we got next?
All right, we have EnviCore. We have Shahrukh from EnviCore, and I work in clean tech, and there are so many things over which you can lose sleep, but I don't lose sleep over tailings ponds because I know the guys at EnviCore are working on it. Shahrukh, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Stephen, for this amazing introduction. Thanks a lot, Zach. Okay, let me just, I guess you can see my screen.
You're good to go.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, great. So, hello. My name is Shahrukh Shamim, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of EnviCore. And basically, we are striving to transform mine tailing ponds into thriving habitat. So currently, any type of surface mining, be it in oil or metal industry, produces large amounts of waste mineral slurries, which is known as tailings. Now, due to their inefficient treatment, the tailings are stored in open containment areas, entrapping large amounts of otherwise recyclable water. The commercially available treatments span from chemical to mechanical operations. However, all of the treatment in most cases are too costly and very energy intensive, while the poor solid liquids separation achieved contributes to long and unsustainable recovery of the disturbed land. At EnviCore, our treatment solutions for the mining industry center around environmentally friendly chemicals dosed into the tailings. The process is easily retrofittable and entails no additional capital investment as the existing tailings facilities on the client sites can be utilized. The efficient compaction of the formed sediment accelerates the land reclamation within 5 years. In addition, the process also offers 60% more water recovery and operational expense reduction based on the low cost of the used chemicals. In the tailings treatment sector, we have identified 3 other major technology competitors. The polymer technology is currently being widely implemented for the tailings treatment. The other two technologies are the similar stage to ours. But the main point of differentiation between us and the competition is the cost of treatment, where we are providing up to 60% cost reduction in comparison to the status quo. So with the process advantages presented and close to 2,000 active tailing ponds around the world, EnviCore's technology are targeting the total market estimated at more than $30 billion. So to capture the market, we will implement a business model combining the treatment technology licensing to the end user and chemical manufacturing companies, given that we are using commercially available treatment chemicals. EnviCore's forecasted revenue from 2 mining operators in 2022 will be in the range of $4.7 million on an annual basis. By 2023, we plan on targeting 3 additional mining companies to increase our revenue by $13.4 million. And subsequently, by 2024, we would expand to a total of 10 mining companies, generating a revenue of $31.8 million on an annual basis. Our team consists of experienced research and business-driven team members with the background in business and technology development. We're also part of an alumni network of major business incubators in Western Canada, where we have leveraged the expertise of serial entrepreneurs and mentors. Currently, EnviCore is raising safe investment in the amount of $300,000 to extend the runway for an additional 18 months. We have already closed an investment round of $200,000 in January of 2021. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Awesome, right on time, Sharuk. Okay, why don't you just expand on that last slide for us? Tell us a little bit about who you raised money from already, and tell us a little bit about how this is going to work, the pilot testing, who the potential lined up are. Yeah,
sounds perfect. Let me just share a slide. So right now we are working with a bunch of mining companies in the both oil sand sector and the hard rock mining sector as well. We raised the $200,000 from our 3 CDL and mentors, actually, Mr. Douglas Beach, Mr. Martin Molyneux, and Deborah Peacock. And basically they are angel investors. So the proceeds will go for matching the funding that we potentially will receive from SDTC Seed Fund. And then additionally, the amount that we are raising right now would go for helping piloting the technology with support, for example, Canadian Natural in the oil sand case, and Sherritt International Corporation in the hard rock mining sector.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the relationship you have here. Are there contracts signed to do the pilots, or what stage of the conversations?
So right now, basically, we have a term sheet signed with Sherritt International, the mining company that has operation in Madagascar and Cuba. And we are working in a co-development agreement manner where we are developing technology with their constant feedback. So at this moment, we have completed our bench scale validation, and then we are soon to move to their facility for running a larger test. It's not going to be a pilot, but more like a semi-pilot stage. Yeah.
Okay. Trying to look for questions coming in from the audience, but they're a little quiet. So tell us a little about the value-added products that you're producing and why you think that is an important differentiator between the competitors.
That's a very good question, Zach. So right now, the tailings industry in the hard rock, especially in the hard rock side, there's a lot of talks about how you can reprocess the waste into something valuable, because there are a lot of actually valuable commodities hidden in that waste material. So similarly, in the oil sand side, the major issue with extracting the commodity, these valuable materials, is the cost, because technically you need to solve this tailings. At the same time, you need to make sure that your treatment cost doesn't go above a certain threshold limit. So our technology, first of all, it reduces the treatment cost by 60%, which is again a major benefit. And at the same time, if let's say we extract this nanomaterials or these valuable stuff from these tailings, we promote the circular economy concept where we basically sell these commodities for a premium price, so that the cost for the tailings treatment can be offset by the selling of these materials. It's more like sustainability, providing sustainability, especially on the oil sand tailings treatment side.
Okay, and is there recurring revenue built into this model?
Yes.
Okay. You know what, Sharuk, we're just up at time here. So why don't we end it there? I do see at least maybe one more question coming in. I encourage you to answer them in the chat. And I encourage people to come to the happy hour to have a fun, casual way to answer questions after the show. Meanwhile, I'm going to ask Stephen what's going on with the next presenter. Stephen, actually, quick question. Are there any presenters that you don't know?
Maybe there might be a couple, but you have to guess. You have to find that out. Zach, at the end, I'll say, who do you think I knew nothing about before this meeting? So our next, I love lateral thinking. I love out-of-the-box solutions. And so for this next presenter, said there's a problem with agriculture. We have to make agriculture more efficient. We need to fix what's going on down here in the ground. And to do that, we have to go up into space. Chris Robson from Wyvern, you take it away. You tell us how that makes so much sense. Chris, don't leave me hanging. This is gonna
Sorry, just had to get set up here a little bit. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Robson. I'm the CEO of Wyvern. Wyvern is a... Sorry, give me a second. My tech's not working. Wyvern is a space company ensuring our customers can optimize their market opportunities through quality satellite imagery at an affordable price. So today, our customers always compromise on information quality or affordability. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and very few organizations can purchase great information. And this is a $40 billion market opportunity, spanning multiple industry verticals, including agriculture, our beachhead market, mining, energy, defense, and more. And Wyvern can serve that market, the one-size-fits-all solution it needs, using small satellites and our proprietary deployable optics technology. Our satellites are 100 times cheaper than our competitors and produce 1,000 times the data. With Wyvern, customers don't have to compromise. We provide the quality customers need for a better price than our competitors. Hyperspectral imaging technology is the thing that enables the high information content and the quality of our imagery. With hyperspectral imagery, you can measure the chemistry of what you're looking at. You can look at a mountain and see all the minerals the mountain is made out of. But deployable optics is our competitive advantage. This proprietary technology enables our solution by letting us capture high resolution imagery from a satellite that costs 100 times less than the next competing solution. And so far, we've built a lot of traction to date. We have $1.25 million in an annual recurring contract with a customer for the data from our first satellites. We've had a $400,000 contract from the defense research arm of the Canadian Forces, and we have over $600,000 in grants to date. We also have $750,000 representing annual recurring revenue in our future customer pipeline in the form of expressions of interest and a provisional patent pending. Our business model will include a variety of revenue models, such as subscription-based, one-time purchases, and seasonal contracts. We will leverage existing distribution channels to quickly capture large market share internationally. And in the next 5 years, we are planning to launch 130 satellites across 3 generations. All 3 generations of satellites will incrementally increase our ability to capture that $40 billion market. The team that we have put together to launch these satellites is impressive. We've built and launched satellites before. We've grown organizations from 3 to 100 people. We have what it takes to execute on this plan. And we have a group of advisors on the technical and the business side that can help us along our way and make us execute on our business plan in a great way. And our growth plans, while they're ambitious, are possible because the opportunity presented by the current marketing conditions and because of our core technology advantage, our deployable optics. Today, we are raising $5 million to launch our first 3 satellites, and we're looking for a lead investor. Thank you. My name is Chris Robson. I'll be happy to take your questions.
Awesome, Chris. Okay, questions coming in, Chris. Let's talk about the, how are you 100 times less than a traditional unit? How are you achieving that? How's the technology achieving that?
So the technology, what the technology allows you to do is allows you to fold up this giant optical payload, something that should be 1.2 meters wide, 3 meters long on Earth and unfolded in space. What we do is we take this technology, we fold it up into something about this big, we launch it on top of a rocket. When it unfolds, it's about the size of a small minivan.
Okay, and tell us, you've mentioned contracts that you've landed that will go live once you launch the satellites, right? Tell us about what needs to happen between now and then to collect on that revenue and launch those satellites.
So to collect on that revenue, we just need to build and launch the satellites. So we have a satellite launch provider lined up. We're going to be signing a contract with them in the next 3 to 4 weeks. The satellite provider is building the entire satellite, integrating it, arranging launch, and setting up our satellite once it's in orbit and operating it on a month-to-month basis. We've also got a service provider set up that's handling all the data and also building the front end that allows our customers to access it. Between now and then, the only thing that really needs to happen for us to generate revenue is to get these satellites in space. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to be selling aggressively.
Okay, and what's the geographic footprint and resolution of the imagery in space and time, maybe in comparison to what competing products do?
So our satellites can revisit anywhere on Earth that's not the North and South Pole. The resolution of the first satellites is going to be 5 meters. The second satellites will have a resolution below 1 meter and below 2.5 meters in different colors. And then the last generation of satellites will be comparable to the very best satellites on the market to date. These satellites are $850 million beasts, and they serve the defense industry, and they've been funded by government.
And tell us a little bit about how the revenue model is for the customer and the value proposition to them using your satellites.
So the revenue models for our customer, it depends on the industry. For our first industry beachhead, agriculture, we're really operating 2 revenue models. One is a direct sales model, and another one is a subscription-based model that works on a annual basis and involves us taking a picture of the same agricultural area at least once per week for the entire growing season. So what we do is we charge this on a per acre basis as opposed to a per square kilometer basis. It ends up being far cheaper than any of our competitors can produce. And sorry, you had another question there.
Well, yeah, it was the value proposition to the end user.
Oh yeah, I got you. So in a lot of cases, what our end users have to do today to get the information they need to drive profitability is they have to go out into the field and take physical measurements. They have to fly drones and airplanes, which, while it's not intuitive, are actually far more expensive than using satellites to gather the information that you need. They have to spend a lot of money to do something that's very local, and it's also not scalable.
Okay, we are just at 6 minutes now, Chris. That was awesome. A lot of people asking questions, a lot of interest, a lot of people want to understand how this really works. I encourage you to answer it in the chat here, and of course to join us at the happy hour, which is coming up after the show. So with that, Chris, job well done. Also, props to Chris. A year ago, he participated in the very first TNT Investment Summit. Now he's back. A lot of big accomplishments in the last year, Chris. Really cool to see you back here. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm going to hand back to Stephen.
All right. For our next presenter, CO2, carbon is a problem. We all know that's a massive problem, but what if you could do great things with it? What if you could replace some of the chemicals and fuels we use every day with that CO2 emission? That's what Paul Ado from SeeO2 Energy is working on right now. So Paul, tell us how that's going to work.
All right, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Paul Ado. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SeeO2 Energy. And at SeeO2 Energy, we take carbon dioxide and convert that to fuels and chemicals. There is a high demand for the industrial gases that we make. That's carbon monoxide, syngas, hydrogen, and oxygen. However, most of these gases are currently being made from fossil sources. And we know the consequences of this, high CO2 emissions. So the question becomes, can you produce these same gases in a more cleaner and a sustainable way? And the answer is yes. So SeeO2 Energy provides an on-site solution to our customers where we take the emitted CO2, bring it to our technology, and we're able to produce the same industrial gases in a more reliable and a sustainable way. Our technology is a high temperature electrolyzer system made up of ceramic plates, and we tend to represent the plates as Oreo cookie, having 3 different layers. And the black part is where the chemistry happens, and the white part is the separator. The nice thing about the technology is that you're able to put several of these plates together in parallel to form a bigger system. And we'll be able to demonstrate this system in our labs by putting 15 of these plates together. The technology is unique. We're able to deal with impurities in the gas stream. We have patents protecting the technology, and we're able to produce some of these gases at cost competitive prices. And because we're operating at high temperature, our electrical input is very less. In terms of timeline, we have a field demonstration this year with one of our committed industrial partners. And by 2023, we'll be having our commercial products. Beyond that will be the large scale adoption of the technology. Our business model is pay-per-use, where the customer pays for the gases that they consume. Huge market potential here. We talk about $43 billion for this industrial gases in 2023. And it has various applications. So renewable fuels, green plastics, automotive, and metal processing. We've worked with various partners. ATCO is one of the big ones we've been working with for the past couple of years. They're a minority shareholder in the company, and we'll be having a field demonstration with them. We've also worked with ArcelorMittal. We have a committed field demo with them, and we were recently awarded an European Eureka project. And you can see the other partners that we've been working with. We've also gotten involved with different accelerator programs and won various awards. We have a robust team made up of chemists, engineers, past CEOs and entrepreneurs. And together we have over 100 years in technology commercialization. We currently have a seed round open for $750,000. And we'll be very happy to discuss this opportunity with potential investors. And we're also very open to discuss our business with strategic partners. And we would love that you contact us so that we can work together to turn waste carbon dioxide into value. Thank you very much.
Awesome job, Paul. Right at the 3-minute mark. Are your partners today also likely to be your lead customers?
Yes, yeah. So they'll be part of our customers going forward once we get to the commercial stage.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about these lead partners. I know you've been working with ATCO for a while. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that project?
Yeah, so ATCO we've been working with them for the past 3 years, and their focus here is to be able to take carbon dioxide, mix it with water, and produce what we call syngas, which is a mixture of hydrogen and CO. And their mission is to produce synthetic natural gas. Okay, so that's one of their purpose. And also they are looking into hydrogen for natural gas blending. So those are the 2 projects that we've been working with them. And we'll be having a field demonstration in one of their facilities here in Alberta.
And so where's the water and electricity coming from, either for this project or just in general?
So for the field demonstration, it will be great, electricity for this field demonstration. But they have, they're looking at getting solar panels for the renewable synthetic natural gas production as we progress.
What do you think this company looks like over the next 5 years, Paul?
Can you repeat that?
What's your vision for the next 5 years for CO2?
So the vision here is to have various industrial players in the metal processing industry, green plastic, adopting the technology, and we're seeing it scale up, so that we're able to remove a lot of CO2 from the atmosphere, right? Because in this case we are recycling the CO2, right? So instead of emitting more CO2, we're actually saving CO2 emissions.
And okay, 2 quick questions here. What is the key industrial gases that you're going to be targeting first? And tell us a little bit about the IP.
All right, so the 2 gases that we're looking at currently is syngas, because we have a partner which is ATCO that we're working with, and also carbon monoxide for green plastic production. And also our partner in Europe that does in metal processing also need the CO for their metal, their steel production process. So those are the 2 gases that we're looking at the moment. And in terms of IP, we have IP defending the material composition, right? And also the system configuration. And all those IPs are assigned to SeeO2. And I should say that we have about 2 or 3 more IPs that will be filing very soon.
All right, last question. Global markets or regions that you're most interested in, aside from Alberta, or if Alberta's number 1, let us know.
No, we are open to do business everywhere. That's why we have partners in Europe, in North America. So, once we have an industrial partner on board, we are open to expand and have them adopt this emerging technology.
Okay, and then one final question. What do you see as the key differentiator in your technology versus other CO2 conversion technologies from your competitors?
Right, so the biggest differentiator is that because we are at high temperature, right, most of these systems require electrical input. But because of the high temperature of our system, that electrical input is cut down by 30%, which is huge because that's one of the biggest components in terms of cost. A second differentiator is, the material being used. The concept of CO2 conversion is not new, but most of the times the material being used are not very stable in these gas streams, right? And we've been able to engineer, different class of materials that are more robust, that can deal with impurities in the gas stream and giving us, stability and performance over time.
Okay, Paul, we're gonna have to end it there. We're actually over time now, but great questions from the audience. Encourage everybody to stick around for the happy hour, of course. And great job, Paul. I'm gonna give it back to Stephen. Who we got next, Stephen?
Well, Zachary, we have a company, and I always love company names that say what it is that they do, as well as incorporating a little pun. And that's what Revolution Turbine Tech has done to a T. So, Mr. Chris Bean, take it away.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to present to you this evening. I'm Chris Bean, CEO and co-founder of Revolution Turbine Technologies. RTT is developing a carbon-free power generation solution that solves pain points for remote oil and gas applications. RTT's technology provides a scalable, clean energy source to reliably power digital oil field and pipeline initiatives at a significantly lower operating cost than incumbent technologies. RTT's technology is a micro-expansion turbine system, also known as METS. METS is a great example of a waste energy recovery technology. This system uses an existing source of pressurized gas to generate power for mission-critical equipment without burning or venting of the gas, so no greenhouse gases are created or released. The METS system can be scaled to meet the ever-increasing power requirements of digital oilfield technologies. A single system can be configured with multiple turbines that operate in parallel. Each turbine is capable of generating 1 kilowatt of power. METS also includes a number of other features that are important to operators, including smart functionality that minimizes downtime, reduces maintenance cost, provides remote monitoring, and all within a small footprint. These features make it a clear choice for replacing existing solutions like thermoelectric generators. Currently, our technology is at a TRL4, and we have produced full-scale working prototypes. Our final development phase will focus on the commercial architecture of the power electronics, EX certification, and pilot execution. Remote power applications such as gas pipelines, wellheads, and offshore platforms represent an estimated $10+ billion market opportunity. Revolution's technology clearly provides significant benefits to oil and gas operators. Cost-effective both in terms of CapEx and OpEx, no generation of greenhouse gases, and is scalable to the site's growing power requirements and reliable with an expected 5-year maintenance interval. RTT is engaging with numerous oil and gas operators throughout Canada and the world. Potential pilot sites are being identified along with deep voice of the customer interface. Revolution will be using global channel partners to take our products to market once commercialized. We have an aggressive IP strategy in place with multiple patents issued in Canada, the US, the UK, and Malaysia, with additional IP expected this year. RTT has received a $1.65 million non-dilutive investment from a potential customer that has funded our development to date. And Revolution has now opened its seed round and is currently seeking $1 million of investment. Additionally, we are interested in further collaboration and pilot opportunities. RTT's technology addresses a massive market opportunity, providing clean, scalable energy to power digital technologies via pressurized gas sources. I welcome your questions, and thanks for allowing me this introduction today. Be happy to answer questions.
Okay, awesome. Chris, couple questions coming in. Are you using raw produced gas, and what is the pressure drop through the turbines?
Pressure drop, typically we're looking at 120 PSI to generate the full 1 kilowatt of power. And what was the other question, Zach, did you ask?
Are you using raw produced gas, and are there any issues with wet gas or H2S or sand getting in the gas?
Yeah, great question. Normally, we would prefer to have a gas conditioner in front of the turbines, but our early design incorporated a very wide range of gas types and contaminants. The turbine materials have taken H2S into account with all of our design.
Okay. So no one needs to like make an adjustment to their upstream, their compressor for their upstream field applications? Do they don't have to modify their existing operations to use this thing?
Normally, no. In most of these applications that we're looking at, there would be some form of gas conditioning system already in place.
Okay, so I think Julie's asking a question here. She's not fully understanding where this like pressure differential is coming from. Is it naturally happening and you're just taking advantage of it?
Well, it could be like, for instance, in an offshore platform environment, we would be utilizing the excess pressure of the gas lift system. In a gas pipeline, we would be using pressure drops at things such as metering stations, city gates, and also in various types of remote wellhead applications.
Okay, and do you see potential for scale up to larger megawatt power
Oh,
output?
certainly. Right now, in addition to the 1 kilowatt turbine that we're nearly completed with, the next model that we have planned will be actually a much smaller model that will be used in a lot of natural gas pipeline applications where the power requirements are not as large. And then next in line, we do anticipate a much larger scale turbine. We're actually in discussions now with a major gas pipeline operator in Oklahoma on that application.
And Chris, tell me a little bit about that customer that gave you non-dilutive funding. Maybe don't want to reveal the name of the customer. Tell us a little bit more about who they are, what potentially they represent as a revenue, and how that's actually structured as non-dilutive funding.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky with that one. That was a customer, I guess our early stage R&D partner out of Southeast Asia, one of the largest platform owners globally. And that's where the actual genesis of the project started. It was originally focused with offshore applications in mind. And just to give an example of that, the industry historically has used 500 watt thermoelectric generators in a lot of those applications. But as operators begin to deploy digital oil field technologies to really maximize their efficiencies and their operating expenses, a lot of those loads on the platforms have been growing exponentially. As a case, or as an example, in the case of our early development partner, they went from a 500 watt power source to requiring 3.6 kW. And that's where our technology caught their attention with that early investment and some very significant early collaboration and voice of the customer.
Okay, Chris, we're going to have to end it here. We're over time, but I feel like there's a lot of people in the audience that love this space or from kind of a similar industry to you. They're asking more questions. They want to know more about it. So answer those in the chat. Great job on the presentation. I'm going to hand it back to Stephen, but I might ask you a quick question, Stephen. I got to get a refill. What's your favorite beer out of Vancouver? If we're visiting, where should we stop by? Where should we stop by for a drink in Vancouver?
Oh, depends on the neighborhood. There's lots of local brew pubs. Go out, support some of the local guys. If you happen to be in like Fairview, 33 acres of sunshine. It's a nice French Blanche. It's a very nice beer there. That's what I would recommend. Also, lots of great little stops. I'll put a little list in here next time you're in town, Zach, and we'll go try them all. We'll find your favorites.
Or less for the Cleantech folks. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to get a refill. Who's our next speaker?
Absolutely. I'm just going to say, Chris, right off the bat, I love to see people who really understand the market that they're selling into and have that voice of the customer. And clearly you demonstrated that in your answer. So great job there. Continuing with my favorite type of name, this next company uses solar power to generate steam. They are called SolarSteam. Apostle Radov, please show us your presentation. Tell us more.
Thanks for the introduction, Stephen, and hello, everyone. I just want to confirm if everybody can see the slide deck on their end and if they can hear me clearly.
You're good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. If heavy industry was a country, it would be the largest producer of greenhouse gases on Earth. My name is Apostle Radov, CEO and co-founder of SolarSteam, and our vision is to change this by developing the lowest cost renewable heat. SolarSteam is a Calgary-based post-revenue private renewable technology company, and we have our own IP control. The problem that we are addressing is the high cost and high emissions associated with process heat. We sell concentrated solar thermal systems, and our customers buy them to reduce cost as well as lower their greenhouse gases. On this slide, you see a quick snapshot into our C-suite team, comprised of myself as the CEO. David Babich is our CTO. We have Wendy Hennell, a very experienced CFO, and industry veteran Jeff Frieding in a Chief Development Officer capacity. The market segment that we are in, it's a solar heat for industrial process or SHIP. The essence of this pie chart is that industry accounts for about 32% of the world's energy demand for power and heat. And interestingly enough, 3/4 of that demand, it's in the form of heat. The compound annual growth rate for the solar heat for industrial process market forecasted for 2050, it's around the mark of 19%. And the industry is looking at about $10 billion addressable market. And SolarSteam obtainable market by 2025 is projected to be around the $200 million mark. SolarSteam's technology concept is based off the principles of concentrated solar power. But in our particular case, we are strictly after thermal energy generation. What is novel about SolarSteam's technology? It's a transformative design, specifically tailored for northern climate conditions, where we're using a double-sloped, transparent membrane structure that helps shelter our system from the harsh weather conditions that we experience in Alberta and actually throughout Canada. Our system is going to integrate based on the principles of hybrid integration as a plug-and-play solution. So in essence, when the solar potential is there, when the sun is shining, the adopter will be generating their thermal energy using our SolarSteam generators. And at night and during the coldest months of the year, they'll be relying on their conventional fired boilers, as well as thermal storage or geothermal, which is another form of integration that our system also offers. To date, we have been engaged in a very aggressive customer discovery. We've been doing that for the last almost 3 years. And we have identified a number of beachhead markets, which include the petrochemical industry, food and alcohol production, and heating and cooling. And these 3 markets alone represent a $200 million serviceable market by 2025. We're also already currently engaged with a number of our secondary markets, which include the healthcare industry, the oil and gas industry, remote communities that rely on diesel fuel, as well as the pulp and paper industries, in particular in British Columbia and Alberta. Our R&D team is currently engaged in the development of a 53 kilowatt proof of concept, and we have 3 R&D associates and 2 R&D interns that are working on this project right now. The next step in our development will be the deployment of a 425 kilowatt pilot system, and the 2 stages thereafter will be in the megawatt thermal range with the 1.2 and 5 megawatt thermal utility scale projects. SolarSteam has also worked really hard in developing a strong commercialization collaborators pipeline. We're very fortunate to have been able to collaborate with some of the top research institutes in the world. And as a matter of fact, last week we were awarded with the third-party validation of our technology by NREL, the National Renewable Energy Lab in the US. I'd also like to point your attention to some of the beachhead markets collaborators that we have been working with, which include multi-billion-dollar Nova Chemical, which is based out of the province of Alberta, a renewable technology developer that operates in the Caribbean basin Croissants, as well as a micro distillery based out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Devil's Keep. We're currently raising for 150,000 Canadian dollars to complete our $500,000 raise that we started in Q2 of 2020. To date, we have over $350,000 committed with less than 2.5% of non-dilutive funding. We're also projecting a future ask of $1 million in Q1 and Q2 of 2020. And so we're currently looking at a burn rate of about $14,000 per month, which gives us a runway of over 2 years. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present today. My name is Apostol Radev, CEO and co-founder of SolarSteam. We develop the lowest cost renewable heat.
All right, Apostol, great presentation. We're a little over time, so not a whole lot of time for questions, but let's talk about your first lead customers that you showed on the slide there.
Yeah, and I will just play something in the background during the Q&A section. So Zach, I believe your question was about our lead customers.
Yeah.
So yes, as I mentioned, we have been collaborating with a number of companies in the last couple of years, which represent a multi-sectoral deployment from industries in the petrochemical, oil and gas, food and alcohol production. And what the beauty of that is that we are looking at opportunities for cross-global as well as deployment with the different capacities of our system.
Okay, and then there's a question on competitive landscape. And in particular, it sounds like there was I don't know if you're familiar with this, there was a Medicine Hat concentrated solar project that proved too expensive to run. Are you familiar with that project? And what do the economics of your system look like?
Of course, yeah, thanks for that question. Our entire team is very intimately familiar with the Medicine Hat project. I've traveled there a number of times. That was a great opportunity for us to learn of what works and what doesn't work in our conditions. So what makes us different than Medicine Hat is that, as you can see on this video, is that we have an enclosure structure that helps shelter the systems from harsh weather conditions. Medicine Hat was spending $55,000 a year on cleaning, and they still had a drop in performance of about 33% because their system was just not properly protected. And there is also various other components that makes us different than Medicine Hat, but just being respectful of time, I would be happy to discuss that maybe offline with whoever is interested in diving into that.
Yeah, that's great, Apostle. There are a few more questions in the chat, so you can answer them there. And join us for the happy hour after. We can talk more then. So I'm going to hand it back to Stephen. Thanks so much, Apostle. And who we got next, Stephen?
Oh, Zach, I thought you were going to walk us through how to use Discord. I was looking forward to that because I've never used that before. But
okay, well, you know what? Okay, sorry, maybe it was miscommunicated. I was going to do that for the next presentation, but you know what? I think we're ready to do it now. You want me to walk us through? Let's do it.
I would love you to, Zach.
Okay.
Teach me something new.
Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to get there. Give me one second.
I threw a spanner in the works. I apologize.
No. All right. So I think someone can throw the link to the Discord in the chat if you haven't used it before. I'm going to share my screen. You can actually connect to it directly through my newsletter, which you should sign up for if you're not on there. Look at this. We've got over 1,000 members on our Discord server. That's amazing. So when you sign into Discord, it can be a little disorienting because you get in here and you're like, what is this crazy place? They'll give you a nice little message as you come in. Oh, there's a tour of what's new. It's moving a little slowly. I don't really care what's new. You arrive here and you're in what's called the general chat room. Look, this guy posted a picture of himself drinking. He says he's ready for tonight. Other people are posting. It seems a little crazy. If you're confused about where to go on Discord, look on the left. You can toggle up and down here and you see both chat channels, which have a hashtag, and then you see like a general channel where you can just go hang out. There's also the intro to Discord. So if you just click here on intro to Discord, it'll just appear. Some of you don't have an account, first you have to set up an account, but that's simple. Once you're in, you can just go to Discord. You can unmute yourself. You can say hello. And then you can go, oh, look, Apostle's here. I can go say hello to Apostle. Hey, Apostle, how you doing? Oh, no. Sorry. That could happen, obviously, feedback. But the point is, you can have some fun. So I hope that's just all we need to do. The point is, you can have some fun with us all in the virtual happy hour. We still got 120 people online here. I'd love to see some of you joining us afterwards. We got, I think, 4 more presentations, Stephen?
Yes, we do. Moving right along to our next to keep to that time. Gru Organics. Obviously, there's a problem with agriculture. We're trying to solve it in space, but we can also do things right down here on Earth, maybe even with some vertical farming. Alicia Bourne, tell us more about how you're going to solve this and turn it into a big, beautiful business.
All right. Looks like screen sharing is disabled for me. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Alicia Bourne. I'm the founder and CEO of Gru Organics, and I'm excited to walk you through our company. Sorry, I'm just not able to share my screen right now.
Zach, is this a problem you can solve?
Yeah, you should have co-host stats. Hold on, give us 1 second.
Should be good to go.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Very good. There you go. Sorry about that.
Nope, that is totally fine. So I'll just present here. So Gru Organics is a more with less automated indoor greenhouse. As we've seen it done with plastic, metal, and compost, waste is now treated as a resource, and Gru Organics is directing it to food production. Gru Organics sustains high volumes of local fruit and vegetable production year-round on waste resources. And we do this by operating our vertical farms on the waste heat and CO2 emissions from existing commercial processes, from heavy industry, power companies, what have you. We take their operational waste heat and CO2 and direct it to our growing environment. And we do it because we're seeing the global conditions evolving and a decreased ability in the current food production models to sustainably feed the future. And we're also doing it because of the more stringent regulations on CO2 emissions for companies. We're also seeing an increase in demand for food as populations rise. We're seeing the global food supply chain crumbling, and we're seeing few sources of produce on a local scale that are both affordable and reliable. So we're mitigating many of the challenges associated with imported produce, and we're offering a higher quality, more fresh and distinct local product at high volumes. And we're really working to offer alternatives to the standard greenhouse options. So in a post-COVID-19 environment, we have automation to really ensure a low contact working environment to prevent the risk of contamination. And we have a flexible model that's going to allow us to really cater to the specific market demands. In terms of our business model, we're going to grow and directly distribute to our customers, who will then be afforded both consistent volumes at a competitive price. And we're offering on average about 20% lower prices compared to the current market. Again, that year-round supply and that brand novelty. So again, those distinct local options. Our vertical farming technology has about twice the plant density of our competitors, and we have environmental mimicry through automation to promote production rates. Now, in terms of our growth, we're currently in the planning phases for our first facility, our pilot facility, which will prove commercial feasibility. We'll expand commercially to a few more of our site partners, and by 2025, we're looking to launch a franchise model when all of the model kinks have been ironed out. So in terms of traction, we have about 170 locations who have confirmed the purchase of our produce. We have 2 secured projects, so that's Lafarge Wholesome and Whitecourt Power, who will be committing their sites, and we have partial financial commitment. So the current produce market is going to grow about 30% in the next 4 years. Our model is extremely scalable, so we can size our facilities according to the given space and conditions. And we offer attractive incentives to our host company in terms of decreased CO2 emissions and the ability to contribute to local food supply. In terms of waste heat, we're very flexible with what we can use. So we're looking at power sites, natural gas, other energy sources like geothermal, even decommissioned wells. So we're very flexible with what we can utilize. And our team has extensive experience both in the environmental and the oil field industries, and they've taken on previous roles as founders, company managers, and project management positions as well. And our technical team is well versed between their molecular genetics and heat recovery backgrounds. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Alicia. Okay, first question's rolling in already. Thanks so much. What's the advantage over hydroponics-based vertical farming?
Sorry,
the advantage of your system versus hydroponics-based vertical farming.
So we are actually a hydroponic system. So we're a vertical grow hydroponic system. So we offer those advantages of the dense growing environments and automation and a lot of reduced labor as well.
Okay, well, sort of a similar question here on how the technology and the footprint plays in. Can you frame the production yield per square meter of the footprint you need on your client's site? And how close do you need to actually be to that process supply for the waste inputs? Do you need to be like right next to it?
So in terms of the waste inputs, we're actually on our Whitecourt site, we're going to be about 100 meters away. So we're pretty flexible with where we can position ourselves, and we can just engineer the infrastructure for that waste extraction. In terms of the specific footprint, that actually is a number that I would have to dig into and get back to you.
Okay. And so did you mention that you can grow both vegetables and like leafy greens in the presentation?
Yeah. So what we're working towards is leafy greens and herbs. And then, as you know, probably most greenhouses are looking at the standard tomatoes, strawberries, and cucumbers. So we're looking to innovate on that and also grow strawberries.
Okay. Because I think that was kind of like where I was going is I there's a lot of talk out there about how most vertical greenhouses are only able to do like parsley and lettuce versus those more substance vegetables. So what are the challenges you see with going in that direction towards fruit?
Sorry, what are the?
Well, how are you guys able to overcome those challenges compared to competitors?
So we're working really closely with our horticultural advisor and with our strawberry plug supplier to really create the optimal environments for housing the strawberries and working on other products as well.
Okay. All right, Alicia, just at time, I think we're going to end it here. But thanks so much for the presentation. And Steve, I'm going to hand back to you. Who's up next?
All right. Let me tell you, you have come to the right place if you think battery anodes and cathodes are sexy. This is such an interesting market right now with the billions of dollars in growth in energy storage and electric vehicles. A small, tiny, incremental increase in efficiency will have huge impacts on the amount of energy we need to generate in a future that's electrified, which I believe will happen at some point. And so to tell us what incremental increases can be made is Bing Cao from Nanode Battery Technologies.
Thanks, Stefan, for the kind introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Bing Cao. I'm CEO of Nanod Battery Technologies. We are a startup company focused on developing the next generation scalable and high-performance battery anode beyond graphite. So the problem, everyone wants better battery, right? Our phone is dying, our electric vehicle is not running long enough. And for the renewable energy system, we really need batteries to supply for the intermittent energy supply. The world is needing better batteries. And the solution we provide to this is we are working on battery anode innovation to improve the battery capacity with a lower cost. With Nanod's technology, we can improve the battery capacity 50% better than the current lithium-ion battery. And this will give the consumer electronics, EVs, and storage for the renewable grids a better performance. And you know what? We can make it at a lower price. Let me show you how. So in a traditional battery anode fabrication, there are multi-step preparation method because we need to mix with active powder usually graphite with organic solvent and conductive binders, form a slurry and paste it onto a copper current collector and then form an anode sheet. And Nanode, we from raw material to the anode sheet use one step. A simple step meaning lower cost because we avoid the main cost, the energy cost, the time cost, and also we don't use any organic solvent that also reduce the cost of the recycle of organics. Maybe you may wonder, well, you are better than graphite. How is your cost and performance compared to other emerging technology in the anode innovation field, right? So I've listed several competitors here. Our unique advantage is that we are the most scalable technology among all of those. For these competitors, they develop really good anode innovation. They can make a battery really at a high capacity. But the problem is in most cases, they use nanostructured bottom-up method to grow the anode. So this sophisticated structure can only be grown in lab scale and it's really hard to scale up and the price is really high. So at Nanode, our method is really scalable and at low cost. The bubble size here actually stands for the current funding of each competitors. We are still early stage. We raised $250,000 funding to support a startup. And as you know, battery is cost intensive industry, but I'm guarantee you, if you want to invest in battery, we will give you the best return on investment rate. So to summarize here, our product have better performance, lower cost, is more environmental friendly, and what's more, we are more compatible because our product are not only compatible with lithium-ion battery, and it's also gonna be compatible with the future sodium-ion battery. And the previous anode material I talked about, the graphite, the silicon nanowires, they are not going to be compatible with the sodium-ion battery. And the future of incorporation of our product into the sodium-ion battery is going to lead a huge improve on the performance and a huge reduce on the cost. And the battery market is growing dramatically faster over the past years. And for the anode material only, the total addressable market is $1.8 billion in 2018, and in 2024 it's projected to be $5.2 billion. And as for the milestones, our technology is not come from nowhere. It's actually based on research from University of Alberta Lab. We have years of research on the battery anode technology, and we figured, well, this is the most scalable technology that can be used in the industry. And in last year, we founded Nanode and to commercialize it. And this year, we are working on building our prototype, find the product market fit, and build a validation. And in the future, we are looking for sale of metal ribbon sheet, integrate full cells, and also in the long term, we'll build sodium-ion batteries. Our team comes.
Bing, you're almost out of time.
Yeah, I'm almost done. Yeah, this is our team. We are very passionate about technology, and we are open. We are very welcome to talk to everyone. Love you. And I can only fit this much in a 3 minutes pitch, so contact us later. Thank you.
Okay, Bing, couple rapid questions. Are there any industrial examples of melt spun alloy ribbon with other materials?
As for the freestanding ribbon, as far as I know, we're the only one. The melt spinning technology has been used to make these alloys, but the industry I know is like they melt spin the mixture, the alloy, and then they crush it into powders and then mix it with graphite and use it. We're the only one that make it freestanding and use it directly.
Okay, and final question. Tell us about the lifetime and what happens at the end of battery life. Is there opportunity for reuse?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, battery life is really, really important because we don't want to like say charge and discharge my phone for once and it dies, right? So, but I would say for each of technology, there is a combination of cathode, anode, and electrolyte. Their work needs to be done in optimizing the match of the three components to make a really good battery life. We are also working towards that.
Okay, Bing, I think we're gonna have to end it here. We're out of time. I think we've only got one presenter left. Great job, Bing. I hope you can join us for the happy hour. I know that people are getting excited. There's a couple of questions in the chat you can answer. Meanwhile, Stephen, are we on to our final presenter? What's going on here?
We are, but Zach, I got a question for you. Okay. When we form our punk band, can we call it Melt Spun Alloy Ribbon?
Absolutely.
I can see the t-shirts now, man. They're gonna fly out of the little merch booth. When I said my heart was on the other side of the Rockies in Alberta, it is because there are more carbon capture and conversion companies per square kilometer in Alberta than anywhere else in this country. And so it is with my great pleasure to introduce our second one of tonight. If you think that burning fossil fuels for heat is a dirty process, I want to introduce the man who's going to clean that up by turning that carbon dioxide into soap. Jason Cardiff from SeeO2. Take it away. Oh no, you're on mute. Don't make me talk to Zach more. You have no idea what we'll say.
There we go. Awesome. Am I on the right? I had this problem before when we were presenting here. Sorry, let me just, there we go. So thank you everybody for taking time to listen to our story today, and thank you.
We're still seeing your note slides. Maybe like just duplicate display settings or something.
Are we? Is that better? Are we on here?
Yeah, go.
You are. We can just see the note slide.
We are. Oh.
Go to display settings at the top. Do you see that?
Display settings, yeah.
Swap, presenter view, and slideshow.
Yeah, try swapping. There we go. Perfect.
We're good to go then. Okay. So Clean02 Carbon Capture Technologies is the world's first microscale carbon capture system designed to work alongside natural gas-fired heating appliances, specifically in the commercial industry. We are currently deployed in a number of countries, including Canada, the US. We've just moved some units over into Japan, and we're looking to deploy also into Australia, Denmark, and Italy and the UK later this year. So things are ramping up for us. So let's talk a little bit about how we operate. We provide a number of key value points to our customers, from taking recycled carbon and converting it into a chemical that is used in a number of industries. And for us, we largely focus on the soap and detergent industry. The key benefits to our customer include energy savings, as well as direct carbon capture, and of course some preventative maintenance. And then of course the main feature is the soap and detergent and the rebates that we provide to our customers at the end of every year. We do have a patent that was given to us December of 2019. It's a North American patent. We have currently 30 units in circulation in and around the world, in operation in Vancouver, Calgary, Minneapolis, Illinois, and Tokyo. I think what places us in a unique perspective is the fact that we're creating some very tangible products from the carbon capture process, which is, of course, once again, soap and detergent industry, which is a truly massive industry. The technology that we created, the first unit went out in 2017. The longest in operation has been 4 years without any issues. And we been able to successfully and independently demonstrate a 20% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, as well as a 20% reduction in energy costs for the building. And right now we're producing potassium carbonate, but we could produce other carbonates with this technology to tap into other markets. But the potassium market is the most interesting, just because it's the most lucrative. It's also worth mentioning that our systems are commercialized. We are CSA UL listed and are ready to deploy in other countries. Let's talk a little bit about the process itself. So the way our technology works is we divert a portion of the flue gas into a reaction chamber, expose it to some chemicals. That chemical gets hot. It helps offset energy demands for the building through heat recovery. And then, of course, it's producing this commercial grade pearl ash or potassium carbonate for use in soaps and detergents, and later this year, likely into the fertilizer industry. Sorry, I'm realizing we're past the time here, so we'll just skirt force to the couple of head slides here. One of the things we really want to focus in on is the circular economy piece, where we can take the carbon dioxide, convert it into chemicals that can be used in other industries like soap and detergent, and that soap and detergent can be used back in the same building that the carbon was captured. So we're creating a very tight circular economy with the recycled carbon. I am incredibly blessed to have been surrounded by some amazingly talented people who you see here, and have allowed us to get to this point in our journey. So thank you. That was a bit rushed and a bit disheveled, so I apologize for the technical issues. It kind of threw me off my rails a little bit, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
No, awesome, Jason. Great job. I first heard about your company a couple of years ago. Really cool to see that many units in operation. Cool to see what you've done. I remember you first talking about soap a while ago. Tell us, are you like branding all the soap commercially yourself, or is that all just you're supplying raw materials and other people are in charge of the soap sales and all that?
So we originally, we were going to look at independent producing. Now, for the current model, we're building the soap in-house. We work with contractors in Edmonton to produce with our commercial products, and then we have these body bars that we're producing. They're absolutely amazing. The idea is to build a regional sales model so that the template we're building here in Calgary can be reproduced wherever we see need to work in conjunction with the technology that's been deployed out in the field.
How does it work for the customers? You're putting your units in their facilities. Are they paying you up front? What's the pricing model or business model for them?
Sure. So they'll pay $25,000 for the unit plus the cost of the install, and then we get the return on the investment within year 2 to year 5. And then it's a continual revenue stream that's generated after that. The analogy that we like to use is that it's urban mining, essentially, where we're mining flue gas, converting it into goods, and then continually providing economic benefit to the customer through the sale of that commodity.
Okay, and there's a question here about competitive landscape or differentiating points. Is there a competitor doing this precise thing, or what do you look at as the competitive landscape for this product?
Yeah, there's some people that are starting to break into this space, but largely we're in terms of microscale carbon capture, we've started this industry and we're dominating it as the only player in this space.
And are you seeing significant interest among, building operators, building owners to adopt this as part of their, green building solution?
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing some amazing traction from some major commercial property owners all around the world. It's not just Canadian anymore. It's, as I said, we have moved into other countries, and that's continuing to grow both from a technological standpoint as well as the products that we're producing from that carbon, that captured carbon.
Okay, Jason, we're just on time. I'm going to end with, I think, a pretty philosophical statement from investor Ted Power. How much cleaner can a company be that takes waste and makes it into soap? So thank you for enabling that, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Ted.
Okay, I think that's all our presenters, Stephen. Is that the end of the line? Was that everyone?
We made it through.
Okay, well, I want to give a special shout out to the anonymous beer donors, some of them from the investment team that provided beer for our investors and entrepreneurs tonight. Thanks so much. And I want to give also a little notice to everybody. If you sign up for the big event on March 11th, where the investors will actually make their decision, their final investment decision, I think Braden just posted the link, you can also sign up for a beer delivery. You can be part of the fun. So I encourage everybody to sign up. Join us on March 11th. That's when we're going to find out who's going to receive the investment. And I got to reiterate Joe's comments. Lots of really awesome presentations tonight. Really competitive crowd. Lots of really good stuff. Lots of companies worthy of investment. These investors are not going to have an easy decision. Really cool to see. Stephen, do you have any final thoughts for us here?
I noticed a lot of little Foresight logos on some of those presentations. If you want to find out how to get one of those for your presentation deck, I will put my email in the chat and you can reach out to me.
Okay. And what about Jason Switzer? Jason, the guy that did all the work behind the scenes to get us all together here tonight. Jason, how are you feeling after 2 pitch nights?
Hey, well, first off, I want to say Stephen is a far better co-host than I am, so I'm going to just give that one away. But I'm so impressed by all the presentations today and terrific questions from the investors. It's great to be part of such an engaged community. So thank you guys. Great job all. Thanks again as well to our sponsors, to Internex, our title sponsor, to DealPoint, and what's the other one?
Deal Closer.
Deal Closers, not just DealPoint, but Deal Closers.
All the deals are sponsoring us.
All the deals are sponsored, and to all of our beer sponsors, anonymous and otherwise. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you all over the course of the next few days on Slack and on March 11th. Thanks.
And don't forget, a bunch of us are hanging out on Discord right now. Braden will repost the link so you guys all have it. Please join us, hang out, drink a beer, relax, meet the other investors, meet the entrepreneurs. There's another summit happening right now in Saskatchewan. They're going to join us too. You can make friends from all across the prairies, maybe even Vancouver, if any of our Vancouver friends show up. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks, everybody. Sign up for the March 11th event. Sign up for the next masterclass, which is open to the public on due diligence. And thanks, everybody, for coming. Great turnout tonight. I think that's it. think we'll close it there.